as I'm seeing, Hellborn is still going with the same strat, which is they are going to single core with the Clanks. They are going to make Clanks get very, very strong and try to make the three cores a bit weaker, just so that Clanks can, at the end, kind of clean up really easily. Which has worked for them once. I'm not going to say that that is a bad strategy, but it also did not work last game, so it's not necessarily a win either. But they are going with this around the same strategy, a few different heroes, but I'd say overall a very similar strategy. Legion here is going with, like I said, the Calamity is with an M4. It makes a lot of sense that you would pair those two together. Flux, it seems, is going to be probably solo middle against the Hellbringer, which again is fairly normal. I do think Flux is pretty decent solo against another hero. But what's interesting is we see Hellborn, all four are top. They might actually switch it up and try to get in an early pick here on the Corrupted. But I do think that Legion realizes something is up, because they do have that ward all the way bottom lane here, and that is going to really tell them that why is no one here, and it's going to make them rotate top to hopefully try to help. And again, that's why wards are so important in your games. You want to have that information, because if they did not have that ward, N4 might not have known to rotate to the top lane, and that is the important part here. That is why you always buy wards. They are very important. They're very good. You can see top lane does realize something is up, because there's bottom lane is missing. So they're not pushing in. They're not trying to get anything. They are trying to ruin the stacking here, or the pull, or they were trying to pull. It didn't happen, but they are still going to try to get those neutral creeps. Again, Hellborn's going very hard on trying to get Clanks as fed as possible, as quickly. And Calamity here is going to free farm, knows how to free farm, knows to pull creeps, knows to do all of those things. So, makes a lot of sense to do that. However, Lodestone is going to teleport bottom once he notices that there's not much. He's not doing much on that lane. Magnus has rotated to middle, but I don't think Flux really needs any help right now. He's doing fine on his own. But yeah, again, look at that, same strategy that they've done last time. They are going to really focus on that. And Lodestone is having a hard time against the Calamity. Again, Calamity is so strong early game. So it's really hard for Lodestone to deal with that. Because Calamity can just kind of sit there, as we're seeing here, and just harass him by just standing close enough. And those dragons are just gonna, it's just gonna eat him. Just gonna num him. And can't really do much. You can just kind of sit there and hope to get XP and, hope one of his teammates rotates. And Clanks is going to rotate, surprisingly, to the bottom lane with the Andromeda. But so is Nim4. Puts out that stun here just to be a bit annoying. And see, Lodestone is hiding here. I think he's looking for just a small opportunity that he can capitalize with the Andromeda and the Clanks, but I don't think he sees it, so he's just back off and keep waiting here. Corrupted is going to be alone. He's going to be the one that's going to be alone right now. Lodestone does teleport and try to go after him. You can see Magnus is also looking for a pick middle. So teams are kind of setting up, trying to get their... just trying to overall get their picks, trying to really find an opportunity here. But they're not finding. Bottom lane, there goes the N4 stun. trying to get Clank's Calamity does do, again, a lot of damage, but just it's not enough. Clank's just a bit too strong. But Calamity, I think, has shown that she's going to be hard to deal with. Oh, and there goes an Enforcer trying to get the Andromeda, but the Engineer does show up here. Again, excuse me. And there, we can see the Engineer did try to go in, like, to help a bit. They're trying to make it hard on the Calamity, which I think is the good move here. They want the Calamity to kind of not be as strong on the early game, so that they can drag it all the way to late game. So the Calamity isn't nearly as strong. But yeah, they really want to make sure to shut down that Calamity as much as possible. Want to make it difficult. But while they're doing that, remember, there's still a Corrupted Disciple top lane who is farming. And Corrupted is also a annoying person to deal with late game for many reasons. Middle lane, we can see Flux has... And I has just missed it, but bottom lane, we see the Magmus managing to show up here and get the pick on the Andromeda. Very, very good roaming with the Magmus. Managing to get that Bloodlust, that extra gold. Very, very good. Oh, and there he goes again on the Engineer. Engineer getting caught, trying desperately to get run away. And I think he will be able to run away using the keg very, very well. Oh, but Magmus, I think, is going to catch here. He does get the catch, but also that is going to be it for the Magmus. Gets the kill, but at the cost of his own life. Clanks rotating back to top lane. Again, Clanks really, really wants to be very fed, and the Hellborn does have a lot of team fighting potential with that Hellbringer, that Engineer, and that Lodestone. I think in the team fight they do very well, even if the Legion has that combo with the Flux, which is very strong, but they don't necessarily have as much. Oh, but there goes on the top lane. Corrupted Disciple gets hit with the keg and gets caught by the Clanks and the Lodestone right after. Good, very good use of the keg here with Engineer managing to teleport and get a pick. And that's a reason why Engineer is very good. You can see the stun has a pretty decent range with the keg. Manages to get the pick. And afterwards, it's just a cleanup with the Clanks and the Lodestone. So, very good rotation from the Engineer right here. Middle lane, we can see the Magmus trying to go in on the Hellbringer. It's not quite going to work, and he's going to get picked right here. But no, he gets... Flux manages to get the deny off him. But is the same... Flux is trying to get back this time. He's trying to get back to safety. And he does manage to run away. He does manage to prove that he is fine. And they get the Malphus kill for the Nymphora, which is pretty decent money. Just kind of free like that. Again, both teams are doing a very good job of making their carries free farm here. And not free farm, but getting them farmed. But right now, Legion is doing a better job, but it's not by a very big margin here. I'm not that afraid of Clanks not getting fed right now. And again, Legion is trying to get a setup. They are trying to put more pressure on the Clanks because they really do see what happened in the last games. That they want to put more pressure. They know what their strategy is. They're going with the same strategy, so they want to counter that as much as possible. And we are going maybe to see a... No, we're not going to see a team fight right here. Both teams are very much trying, especially Legion is trying to find a good opportunity, just not finding it, unfortunately. But that roaming Magnus is becoming a problem. Engineer rotating all the way back to bottom here. This might be the opportunity that Legion is looking for. What unfortunately. No, Magnus trying to go in on the top lane here, but he does not get in range. They cannot do anything. And now they know. However, the Flux does have an invis room, and they're going to go on the Clanks. There goes the Flux ult with, afterwards, just a burst of damage. They can't do anything. And Andromeda desperately trying to live, using her stun on Corrupted. It is not enough. And meanwhile, bottom lane, Calamity getting both the Lodestone and the Engineer, which is very impressive. And again, it shows just how strong Calamity can be. Just magic, just even without that many items, is able to do just so much damage. But she is about to get caught here. We can see the Clanks using his abilities. Calamity managing to hit with the Nymphora heal, but not healed enough. The Lodestone manages to finish her off with the headbutt. Magnus getting the damage over time from Hellbringer, isn't able to really do much, and he does end up getting hit because of that Rev Ward in the middle here. And Nymphora is the only one that is still alive, but she might just get caught here. Lodestone trying to get in for the kill. Not managing, just off of here. Middle lane, Legion is very much pushing really hard, getting a bunch of these opportunities here. I'm so much that I'm not even able to notice everything. But Flux did get the pick on Hellbringer. And then Legion does get top lane at the same time. They're really, they're playing, all of them are playing different, on their different lanes, and they're all seemingly winning here on Legion. Hellborn is going to have to find some type of opportunity to really counter, especially the Calamity. And there goes bottom lane on Magnus, manages to get the stun on Engineer. Engineer, will he be able to use the keg or just run away? Yes, he kegs the Magnus, and he manages to get away with that. Middle lane, Flux is getting jumped. Lodestone uses his ult, and they manage to get the kill with that. The Hellborn getting the kill on the Flux. Very good ult stun combo with the Lodestone, and obviously Clanks hitting him, getting doing a lot of damage just because of that zero armor that the Lodestone ult gives other people. No, Clanks is going top lane, he is contesting, but if we look bottom lane, Calamity and Magnus are both kind of diving a bit past the tower, but that is fine. Calamity doesn't even need the basic attack to completely burst down the Engineer, and Magnus is just right there with him, kind of just, you know, being there. Hey, like, I use my stun and now you use your dragons, and person is just dead. Oh, top lane, here we go. Corrupted trying to get the Clanks just off by a bit. Then we look at River, top River Rune. Hellbringer getting caught by both the M4 and the Flux. The map presence right now that I'm seeing from Legion is insane. They are constant. They are everywhere. They're constantly doing something. Every single one of their players is managing to completely shut down the Hellborn. But middle lane, there goes the Lodestone going to initiate on the Flux. Flux getting hit. And we're going to see a counter initiation from the Magnus. Magnus stopping the Clanks, but it cost him his life. And Calamity teleporting in. It's only Hellbringer left. He uses his ult to try to stun it, but it's not enough. Flux, is he going to die here? And Flux lives. It is not looking very good for Hellborn. They are all down. The only pick that Hellborn managed to do was on the Magnus. The Magnus is level 4. He's doing a bit like how Andromeda was doing last game. He is making sure, he's like, look, I don't care if I die. My goal here is to use my stun and then just die. I don't care if you kill me. because my Calamity is in the back here, and she's just going to eat you up with her dragons, and that is what she's doing. All right, and here we go, bottom lane. Nymphora teleporting in to back up the Calamity. You can see Legion really changing their strategy from last game. They're really being a lot more aggressive. They're making sure that HoN isn't. And look at bottom lane. We can see Magnus going in. A roaming Magnus is just so strong. We see him stunning the engineer. Calamity again. Doesn't even have to basic attack if she wants. Just pressing E. She has 7 charges on her passive right now. 7 bonus agility for free. You know, it's getting even strong. And now, again, the Magnus is just so much presence right now. He's just constantly there. He's level 5, but he doesn't care. His goal is just to use, again, it's to use his stun. It's to be there just to use his stun and to help the rest of his team be able to go in on someone. And there goes the bottom tower. I'm not going to call it until Hellborn calls it, if they are going to call it, because we could still see a comeback. It is looking worse and worse, though, for them. This is just to show why Calamity is always banned. But that's not to say the rest of the team isn't doing well. Magnus, like I said, is doing incredibly right now. Flux is also doing very, very well. He's getting farmed. He is going to be a menace later on. Well, that's not to say Hellborn does, I think, they're going to come up probably with some type of plan. They're going to come up with something to get that Clanks more fed. You can see he's farming his jungle. He is trying to compete. But Legion is going to keep pushing. We can see them. Flux using his PK to initiate on the Hellbringer. Hellbringer using his ult to try. It doesn't matter. Calamity is just way too strong right here. We can see he managed. There goes the Calamity ult to catch the Clanks and the Andromeda. Andromeda getting caught by the Magnus, and the Magnus also getting the end. And there goes the Magnus, but again, he doesn't care. Because look, he manages to position 2 of the players perfectly, so the Flux can just use his portal key and go in. This is a much different game from the last 2 ones we've seen. Last 2 ones were a lot more passive. They were a lot more about getting a carries farm. But here Legion's like, no, we're going to change that up. We're going to go into a strategy you're not used to us doing right now. And we're going to be so aggressive. And they are able to do that. Calamity, you look at her, she's just, like, she's joining fights way earlier than Clanks is able to do that. And that's the advantage of going that hero. Right. We're going to see Magnus is about to get caught here. There it is. There it goes. There catches. But Calamity and Nymphora have teleported in. It doesn't matter that Magnus got caught, because both of the carries are there. And Flux with Hasten is just standing there. Just always there, using his ult to make sure that they stay within the range of the Calamity and the Corrupted. But Hellborn seems to still be in this game. They still think they have a chance, so they're going to keep playing. They're going to keep, again, trying just to find some opportunity. But there goes the Clanks. The Calamity using a very small... using her, not her tablet, her Sinner's inscription very well, just to be able to reach the enemy. And then middle lane, Magnus again with a good setup on the lodestone. Unfortunately, does not manage to get the kill with Flux, unfortunately. Very, very sad, but that is what Hellborn needs to do. That is what they want to do. They want to capitalize on initiations where they can counter and get picks instead. And Calamity almost level 16 here, 650 GPM. Madfreds with the five charges. She has a 200 attack damage, which obviously translates into her passive very, very well. She is going to be a problem to deal with. Corrupted also very farmed. Clanks obviously is down, but there goes. And then Nymphora does not TP. She was looking for it, but she doesn't. Andromeda swabs the Corrupted Disciple, but Magnus manages to stun into the Engineer and the Andromeda, but it is not enough. He stuns into it. Oh, but doesn't matter because the combo goes out with Flux Calamity using their ults in tandem, and it doesn't matter because it doesn't matter that both the Corrupted and the Magnus died, because right after we see the Flux and the Calamity using both their ults in that combo, and just getting all of the picks, locking them all in there, which makes Calamity just able to just sit there and do so much damage. I think we can see why Calamity is usually banned in these matchups. Right. Magma's still having his ult. They're definitely going to keep trying to find opportunities, but Hellborn is going to be a lot more defensive here. Obviously, they're going around their clanks. They really want to help. They want him to stay safe, but it doesn't. That might not be the play right now because Legion is getting the Hellborn Kongor at this moment. And we're going to see if Hellborn realizes. And even if they do realize where they are, they're not acting. I don't think they, want to do anything with that. But that is going to be rough. That is going to be a rough loss for them. Again, I don't know how Hellborn is going to come back from this if they do come back. But last game was also pretty close, and I thought it was over. Thought it was over. So maybe I'm going to be wrong for this one. We don't know, but I do have a hard time seeing how Hellborn is going to do something. But again, these are good players. They might find a way anyways to do some type of comeback here. And there goes the Legion Kongor. Alright, so the Legion is going to have that Kongor buff, and there is going to be the Token of Life on the Flux, possibly so that the Flux can initiate, and it doesn't care if he dies, because either way, the Calamity is going to come in at the end and clean up. So they're going to be able to do a pretty big initiation here. And again, the power of Nymphora is that we see that they can just be top and still teleport. And there it goes. They are now middle. They are going to try to push that middle lane as much as possible. We're going to see if Hellborn is going to be able to counter that. If they're not able to counter that, the game is going to be over. There goes the Calamity, popping her Shrunken and her ult. Engineer tries to counter with his ult. It's just not enough. And there goes, I think this is going to be GG. And there goes the CC vote. And this series is going to go to the Muhatua. Excuse me, I had to make sure I had the name right.